Have you ever just stopped and wondered why you close your eyes when you pray? I mean, it's something so many of us do, every single day, almost like a reflex. But what's really fascinating is when you start to compare this habit to how it was done historically, you find this huge disconnect. So let's dive into what that means.
And right away, you see this massive gap. Scriptural examples, time and time again, show people looking up, looking out, really engaging with the world around them. But our common practice today, it's the total opposite. We look down, we turn inward, we close ourselves off. It's a complete visual reversal. So it all boils down to this one simple, but honestly pretty profound question. If the main example we have is someone looking up to pray, why do we almost universally look down? Let's try and unpack that.
Now, the source material actually calls this a complete reversal. And you know what? It's not an exaggeration. When we really break down the differences, you'll see just how deep this contrast actually goes.
Okay, so first up, let's just think about the overall physical posture. In Scripture, prayer is often described as an act of openness. You see arms raised, the body engaged, facing the world. But today, our modern practice is all about closure. Hands clasped together, head bowed, eyes shut tight, physically turning away from everything around us.
And the direction we're facing, it's just as different. The scriptural model consistently points up, toward the heavens, toward the light. Our modern habit, though, points down, toward the ground, or inward, toward ourselves. It's a complete 180.
And it makes sense, right? This physical difference totally shapes your internal state. That eyes-open posture encourages awareness and a connection with your surroundings. But the eyes-closed posture, well, by its very design, it turns your focus inward. It creates this private, removed little space in your mind.
And look, this is the really crucial point here. This isn't just about how you're holding your body. As the source author puts it, this difference is not small. It changes the entire experience of prayer. So the posture you choose is actually shaping the very nature of that experience.
Okay, so if this posture isn't something that was, commanded in Scripture, then where on earth did it come from? Well, the answer isn't some forgotten instruction. It's actually a slow cultural evolution, one that was built from two separate traditions that eventually just merged into one.
So our modern posture is really a hybrid of two distinct, older actions. First, you've got bowing the head, which is a near-universal sign of respect to an authority figure, like a king. And second, you have closing the eyes, which is really just a practical tool to block out distractions, right? And over many, many generations, these two separate acts just kind of fused together into the single posture that we all recognize today.
And once that happened, this new posture was just taught and repeated, passed down from one generation to the next. And after a while, its origins were kind of forgotten, and it was just assumed to be the right way to pray, even though it didn't really have a direct scriptural basis. All right, so we get where the posture came from, but what does it change about the experience itself? What might be gained, or maybe even lost, by choosing one posture over the other?
So, the experience of looking up is described as one of expansion. It's meant to cultivate a sense of awe and wonder, connecting you with light, the world, and creation itself. It's a posture of direct outward engagement.
Now, looking inward, on the other hand, is all about creating a quiet, contained space inside your own head. It definitely helps with focus by intentionally removing you from your surroundings. But there's a trade-off. It replaces that outward connection to the world with a purely internal one. And this quote from the author just perfectly captures that difference in feeling. Praying with your eyes open, they say, feels like standing in front of God, not withdrawing into myself. That's a really powerful shift, right? From introspection to direct engagement.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's really important to see this not as a condemnation of a specific practice, but more as an invitation. It's a call to simply notice what we're doing and, well, ask why.
And that brings us to the first, most basic question we can ask ourselves. Why do I do this? Is it a conscious choice I'm making, or is it just what I was taught?
And that can lead to an even deeper reflection. Are we truly aware of this action and the kind of experience it creates? Or are we just kind of repeating a habit, a little disconnected from its origins and its effects?
Because at the end of the day, the goal of asking these questions isn't to create some new rule. The whole point is to move the act of prayer from something that can sometimes feel like a routine into an experience of genuine presence and real connection.
And we'll end with this final thought from the source. This isn't about forcing a new way of doing things. It's really just about being willing to see what's already there. Because once you notice the difference, the choice of how you want to connect becomes entirely your own.